Oh. Okay, let's do that again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between and beyond. My name's Jordy Coleman. You can call me Ginger Wolf, and welcome to another episode of the Let's Laugh. Now, of course, this one is a little bit different for two reasons. Number one, I do apologize. I missed last week. We were supposed to do Howie Mandel last week. Things got a little bit complicated. I changed jobs and stuff like that. Oh, and it looks like our Twitch stream has decided to end here. So let's... So many things to keep track of. Well, looks like that one's still going. Hang on, sorry about this, guys. The fun side of being a streamer. Alright, I think we're going on Twitch now. Looks like it. Looks like we're all good. Okay. So as I was saying, I do apologize for um, not doing a stream last week. Things got complicated. I switched not my occupation, but the location that I practice my occupation at. And so I ended up picking up just one extra shift just to make a little bit of extra money while I'm doing the shift, because as I'm sure a lot of you would probably attest to, when you're doing that shift and switching over your pay periods and stuff like that, things can get a little complicated. So I do apologize for that. So we will still do Howie Mandel. It will not be next week because, of course, next week is Christmas. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably not going to have the time to tune in anyway, which is absolutely fine. And also, not to mention, Factor 3, it's right before the new year. And so this will actually be our last stream of the year. Also, I will be changing my live streams to Mondays because Mondays I'm pretty much guaranteed off now at my current job, and that became a bit of an annoying factor at my old job, trying to make sure my Thursdays were off. It's not going to be so much a factor when it comes to Mondays. So now we've got all the housekeeping out of the way. So our first just for the record, our first live stream of the new year will be Howie Mandel. All right, so we've got all that. Next, this stream is actually for my birthday. It was my birthday back on the 17th, 2 days ago, and celebrated my birthday with some absolutely lovely people. had a great fucking time with my birthday, and we're going to continue my great fucking time with my birthday by talking about the one and only Harry Anderson. Now, before I get into who Harry Anderson is, at least according to Wikipedia, and I also have um, another wiki open here because he was actually a big player on the television show Cheers. So I'm curious to see what it says about him on that. We'll kind of we'll kind of skim through a lot of that because it's probably going to be more or less the same stuff, and then some stuff about his character on the show. So we're not going to be super focused on that. But why am I talking about Harry Anderson for my birthday stream? Seems a little bit random, especially considering he is more a magician than a comedian, even though it lists comedian before magician. Well, Harry Anderson was the last magician that I discovered before I started really introducing magic into my act. Now, he like before I really started introducing it, I was kind of dabbling with it a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because years and years and years ago, now, a lot of times I'll carry a deck of cards on me. I use it kind of as like my fidget toy. It's a little bit less weird to have a fidget toy or to have a deck of cards than it is to have a fidget toy. And it's a little less distracting than just looking at your phone and that kind of thing, which I still do. But it's fun to play around with a deck of cards and just sit there and shuffle it and stuff like that. You would actually be surprised how many people will come up to me and ask if I'm a magician or something because I'm just playing around with a deck of cards. Which usually I'm very happy to oblige, showing them a little bit of a magic trick. I find that very fun. Here's the thing though. When it comes to Harry Anderson, okay, so the first time I ever did magic in my act was kind of an accident. I had a deck of cards in my back pocket, and I had no plans on doing a card trick or anything like that. I didn't think my magic tricks were good enough at the time. I was thinking about it, but I hadn't done it. Welcome. But I was thinking about it, but I hadn't gotten there. And I was doing a show one night, and I was eating shit. That is the nicest way I can put it. I was just unadulterated shit eating for about 10 minutes. And so I went, fuck it, you know what? I'm going to try this card trick that I've been working on. And I had been working on it to bring it to the stage. And if you've seen my live show, you'll pretty much know exactly what the card trick I'm referring to is. But it is my favorite card trick, and I love the fact that it gives me a chance to really kind of screw with people's expectations of what they think a magician should be. Cut to probably about a month or so later. So at this point, I had pretty much committed that I would include magic into my act. I was pretty much committed to that. Now, I had a trick for my act. I discovered Harry Anderson, who is very, very, very different from pretty much any other magician that I had ever seen. The closest thing I would be able to say he was close to would be the Amazing Jonathan, who I was a big fan of at the time, still am. But he was kind of right in between the Amazing Jonathan and Penn and Teller. Both fantastic magic acts, but Harry Anderson was something a little bit different. And I'm sure it'll be in here on his Wikipedia article. But Harry Anderson was a little bit different because he didn't start off as a magician. He started off essentially running cons, playing three card Monty and stuff like that in the streets of New York. And he took everything that he had learned from that and moved it to the stage. And the way he does everything, and we will see, the way he does everything is absolutely fucking beautiful. The way he does his stuff, absolutely fucking beautiful. Matter of fact, there's a trick in his act that I very much want to adopt, and you'll see it. It'll be in the special. Don't worry about that. But you'll see it, and you'll know what it is, because he's talking about geeks and stuff like that. I prefer to use the term freak show, but he's talking about geeks and stuff like that, and he does a trick, and it's an absolutely beautiful trick. There is a little bit of spoiler on it. There is some camera trickery to make it look far more. We're going to use the word interesting because I don't want to give away too much about the trick. But he does. There's some camera trickery to make the trick look a little more interesting than what it would if it was just live. But yes, that is my story of Harry Anderson. Now, of course, now of course, I was kind of familiar with Harry Anderson a little bit even before that, although I did not know he was a magician. Because, as it shows right in here, he played a con man known as Harry the Hat on the show Cheers. My mom loved the show Cheers. He was, of course, also the judge on Night Court, which is another thing that, although strangely does not show he on this part here. Oh, wait, no, it does in the upper part. Um, but seriously, like that was how I knew him as. I never knew him as Harry Anderson the magician. I knew him as Harry Anderson the actor. So discovering he was a magician and a damn good magician too, you'll find out, really opened up a lot of factors. So with that all being said, and all the fun parts kind of picked at and stuff like and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm very excited. So my mouth is trying to work faster than my brain is really letting it. But yes, with all that being said, let's get into Harry Anderson. Oh, actually, one last thing before I do. For my friends on YouTube who happen to be watching, as we do just for the sake of um, everything, just in case YouTube decides to pull a plug because of copyright stuff, even though all of our specials just come straight from YouTube anyway. But I get it. I get it. I get it nonetheless. Hang on. I am going to share. Oh, there we go. I'm going to share there we go. The Twitch stream, just in case something happens and YouTube decides to pull the plug on us. Again, I get it. I'm not complaining about how YouTube runs their stuff because, copyright stuff is very, 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 very important. 100% it is. And I'm not going to try to argue that by any stretch of the imagination. But even then, it does seem a little silly that they will pull the plug on me simply because I'm using literal material that is right on your own website. That most of the time is not posted by the person who owns it. But because I am using copyright material, I would not try to fight a copyright claim. So, that being said, let's get into Harry Anderson. Harry Laverne Anderson, born October 14th, 1952, passed away April 16th, 2018. R.I.P. Harry Anderson, by the way, was an American actor, comedian, and magician. I think he would be happy if it was magician first. Actor and comedian you can kind of mess around with, but I think from what I've seen of him in interviews and stuff like that, he would be far more happy to have magician first. He is best known for his role as Judge Harry Stone on the NBC sitcom Night Court from 1984 to 1992. He later played Dave Barry on the CBS sitcom Dave's World, which I have not seen, but it sounds like it might be something akin to either Bobby's World or Wayne's World. Not 100% sure, to be completely honest, but that's the guess I'm going with. In addition to 8 appearances on Saturday Night Live between 1981 and 1985, Anderson had a reoccurring guest role as con man Harry the Hat Gitters on Cheers 1982 to 1993. He toured extensively as a magician and did several magic comedy shows for broadcast, including Harry Anderson's Sideshow. He played Richie Toizerer in the 1990 miniseries It, which I did not know about, based of course off the Stephen King novel of the same name. Stop begging. Jeez. Wikipedia, I get it, they're free and everything like that, and I would hate to see something on ads, but I really wish there was a way I could just click an X to get rid of that kind of thing, because it is kind of screwing with my mojo here, okay? Anyway, that being said, Harry Anderson was born October 14th, 1952, in Newport, Rhode Island. He spent much of his youth performing magic on the streets of Chicago, New York, and St. Louis and New Orleans before landing in California at the age of 16. After moving to Los Angeles, he joined the Dayton Magic Club and worked as a street magician in San Francisco when he was 17. He attended Branyun Park High School before graduating from North Hollywood High School in 1970 as class valedictorian. After high school, he attended Frauenkirchen College from 1971 to 1976. He lived in Ashland, Oregon, performing magic and working with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Career. Doesn't look like he's got a huge Wikipedia article. He really doesn't. So I'm glad I pulled up the extra little bit there. Career. Right? Yeah, career. Anderson made appearances on Saturday Night Live during the show's 7th, 8th, and 9th season, as well as hosting an episode of the show's 10th season, led to his role as Harry the Hat Gitters on several seasons of the television sitcom Cheers, and eventually as Judge Harry Stone on the sitcom Night Court. He went on to appear in other television specials and shows, including 12 appearances on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. As a magician, Anderson toured extensively and performing in comedy/magic shows for clubs and broadcasting, including Harry Anderson's Sideshows in 1987, which I would love to find a copy of. Not what we're watching today, obviously, because I want to find a copy of it, but if a copy still exists, it would definitely be on VHS. and I don't have a working VHS player, unfortunately. In 1990, he starred in the television adaptation of Stephen King's in It as the adult Richie Towser from 1993 to 1997. He starred in the television sitcom Dave's World, based loosely on the life and columns of humorist Dave Barry. Interesting. Now I really want to check it out. Together with longtime friend Turek Popkin, Anderson wrote a book called Games You Can't Lose, A Guide for Suckers, a collection of gags, cons, tricks, and scams. First published in 1989, with that number uh, for the reprint in 2001. It also contained a survey of games you can't win, told from an insider's perspective. He appeared with Chris Angel in a TV special called The Science of Magic, later released on DVD. That would be interesting to watch. Not something I'm going to go out of my way to try and track down, though. In 2000, Anderson hosted the pilot for a potential revival of the panel game show What's My Line for CBS Primetime. So he was getting his comic bug host for game show stuff out of the way early. Well, I mean, I guess that wasn't really early for him, but you get what I mean. It seems like a lot of older comedians, if they don't just flat out retire, they end up hosting game shows. Howie Mandel, Drew Carey. I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. In 2000, I already read that. He moved to Pasadena, California, from Pasadena, California to New Orleans in 2002. In 2002, he and his second wife, Elizabeth, whom he met in New Orleans while she was bartending, opened a small shop in the French Quarter named Spade and Archer Curiosities by Appointment, later named Sideshow, selling various magic, curiosity, and Afro Aphoria? Aprochia? I'm assuming it's like curios and stuff like that. I don't know Latin. I suck at Latin, okay? I'm just being honest. In 2005, Anderson opened a nightclub in the French Quarter, Oswald Speakeasy, in 1331 Descartes Street at the corner of Esplende, Esplende Ave. He performed a one-man show called Wise Guy. Anderson appeared in Hexing a Hurricane, a documentary about the first 6 months in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. He and his wife sold Oswald Speakeasy in October 2006. He continued to present his evening show Wise Guys, originally developed for his theater in New Orleans. In November 2008, Anderson played himself on an episode of 30 Rock, along with fellow former Night Court cast member Mickey Post and Charlie Robinson. In his final years, Anderson appeared in television comedy series Comedy Bang Bang and Gotham Comedy Live in 2014. His final film portrayal was Professor Carman in 2014's Christian drama A Matter of Faith. Personal life, which is very short. Anderson was a longtime fan of singer Mel Throme, and his character Judge Stone on Night Court was also a Throme fan. The singer appeared on the sitcom 6 times. Night Court creator Reginald Wiki said that Anderson and his character both being Throme fans was completely coincidental. I have slight doubts about that, Uh, Anderson was among those who divulged eulogies at the was among those who delivered eulogies at the singer's funeral in 1999. Anderson was married twice in 1977. Okay, that needs to be edited a little bit. He was married twice in 1977, so he was, it was a throuple. What can I say? His marriage to Leslie Pollack, birth 1953. They had two children, a daughter, Eva Faye Anderson, and son, Dash- Dashelle Anderson. Divorcing in 1999. In 2000, he married Elizabeth Morgan, who was born in 1973. In 2006, Anderson and his wife moved to New Orleans to Asheville, from New Orleans to Asheville, North Carolina. Death in late January 2018, so he almost made it to the next year. Oh no, he did make it to the next year. Gee, I'm thinking dyslexia is hitting me bad today, folks. I apologize. In late January 2018, Anderson had a bout of influenza and subsequently suffered several strokes. On April 16, 2018, at age 65, he died in his sleep of a stroke due to influenza and heart disease at his home in Asheville, North Carolina. In films, in 1982, he was in The Escape Artist. In 1988, he was in She's Having a Baby, which is, I did not know he was in that movie at all. Hexing the Hurricane, of course, and A Matter of Faith. We discussed both of those. Saturday Night Live, Cheers, Night Court, Tales from the Dark Side. Interesting. Created by Georgia Romero. Very interesting. It does seem like an oddly weird, lovely marriage of two very weird people. Vanishing American, Vanishing America, Tanner 88, Spies, Lies, and Naked Things, DC Follies. Interesting. The Absent-Minded Professor, Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme, It, Tales from the Crypt. So that's the cartoon version, right? Yeah. Interesting. I want to try to find that episode. Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Dave's World, Heart's Affair, Nightstand with Dick Dietrich, The John Lurkwitz Show, Harvey, Lewis and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Nobody, Son of the Beach, 30 Rock, Comedy Bang Bang, Gotham Comedy Live. And in video games, he was Nightmare Ned and Graveyard Shadow Creatures / Grandpa Ted Needlemeyer. Oh, that's who he was. That's what he was in. Interesting. 1997 video game from Microsoft. And then books and magazines. Weenie, I guess. The International Confusers Magazine. Harry Anderson's Games You Can't Loot, A Guide for Suckers. Harry Anderson's Wise Guys from Streets to Screens. Wise Guy from Street to Screens. Games You Can't Lose, A Guide for Suckers, which is the reprinting. And then, of course, we have all the references. Like I say, not a very long Wikipedia article. So, let's take a look at what it says on the cheersfandom.com/wiki/Harry Anderson. Harry Anderson, I already covered that, was a professional magician and actor. Left out the comedian part altogether on that, and they at least put the magician part first. Gotta appreciate that. As a child, became deeply interested in magic and studied it through his teenage years. He began performing magic as early as 17 years old. After graduating high school, he began doing magic shows. He also became an expert on confidence tricks. Interesting. Well, I think what they're meaning is like tricks that you can really only pull off as long as you seem confident. Not 100% sure, and there's no link for that, so that sucks. But he appeared several times on television as a magician, but the appearance that got him noticed for Cheers was on Saturday Night Live starting in 1981. He displayed a trick there of his own invention where he stuck a needle through the skin of his forearm. Spoilers. Um, on Cheers, he played Harry the Hat. He appeared 4 times in the first 2 seasons, once also serving as a technical advisor for the episode Pick a Con, Any Con, which makes total sense. In 1984, he began starring in his own series, Night Court, the show for which he is best remembered as an actor. He played the role of Judge Harold T. Stone, which I'm assuming, because Wikipedia was saying it was Harry. So Harry and Harold, yeah, I guess they're essentially the same name kind of thing, but anyway, a character that had many similarities to Harry Anderson. The show ran for 8 seasons, which many of the episodes airing on Thursday nights on NBC. Immediately following Cheers, Anderson earned 3 straight Emmy nominations for lead actor in a comedy series, com- competing against Ted Danson all 3 years. However, he did return to Cheers to reprise his role of Harry twice more, once each in the 6th and 11th season. He also landed a starring role on Dave's World starting in 1993. In the 90s, Anderson opened a magic shop in New Orleans called Sideshow, later opening a nightclub called Oswald's Speakeasy. Not long after Hurricane Katrina struck in New Orleans in 2005, Anderson closed the nightclub down and relocated to Nashville, North Carolina, where he continued to regularly perform as a magician. New York Times article on Anderson leaving New Orleans. In addition to magic and acting, Anderson, like his Night Court character, was a fan of jazz scat singer Mel Torme. Anderson delivered the eulogy for Torme's funeral in 1999. Torme had a guest started several times on Night Court. Anderson's page at IMDb. Anderson was found dead in his Asheville home on April 16th, 2018. He was survived by his wife, Elizabeth Morgan, and 2 children from a previous marriage. Well, hang on a second. Didn't the other one say that it was late January? Oh, that was when he got influenza. It was when late January, and then it was in April. Okay. Okay, that makes way more sense. And that's that for that. So the only thing we have left is to look at his special. Now, before we do anything, before we hit play and everything like that, I am going to say, um, if you have issues with blood, even if it's just a little bit of blood, because that's really all there is and stuff like that, you might have a little bit of an issue with one part of the thing. I'm giving you that as a heads up now. It's when he's talking about being a geek and stuff like that, just so that you know when to pause. So just as a full warning for people who have issues with that type of thing. I just wanted to be fully transparent about it. Now, with that all being said, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the one and only Harry Anderson in Hello, Sucker.
So long, Mom. Thanks for the lift. I'll be home early. Hey, glad you made it. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Of course, you know that means I'm gonna have to take someone off. Pick them clean. I mean, I have to. That's my job, right? But it ain't gonna be you. Why don't we take off one of these fellas, huh? That's an idea. Let's make it someone who's getting paid for the trouble. Well, I gotta take someone. It ain't gonna be you. This is not just a matter of ethics, you understand. It's really more a question of possible parole violations. Besides, you and me, we're here for the fun, right? Come on. Full house tonight. There's a live one, huh? Hey, buddy. That's not the lady I saw you with last night, is it? Here's a seat. Kirk Pipkin. Kirk Pipkin. Your 1967 Dodge Dart is parked illegally and is about to be towed.
Hey, I don't own a car. I don't even know how to drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, if you will, a liar, a thief, a braggart, a cheat, and a man I am proud to call my friend, Mr. Harry Anderson. Hey! Okay. You like the suit? Yeah. It was a surprise present from my wife. It was on the chair in the bedroom last night when I got home. Lovely. Warm you up with a card trick, darling. Take that deck of cards. Examine it. See that is an absolutely ordinary, unprepared deck of cards, and take your time. Because we're going to do the trick with this deck. Pick a card, any card. Ha, 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 ha! You weren't expecting that, were you? No, sirree, Bob. Element of surprise. Woohoo. All right, you like cards. You like cards. I got one, boy, I got one. I'll show you a card trick. Aha! Here's a card you don't play solitaire in a phone booth with, boy. You. If that is your real name. Think of a card, any card. Think of one. You got one? Whatever it is that's holding your ears apart, use it now. You got one? Is that it? No, then it must have been one of these, huh? Boy. I feel good now. I don't think we're overdoing it. I will now eat a human being alive. Is there a volunteer? We'll save you for the encore, all right? I need some help. I need some help. Get her up here. Give her a big hand. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Hiya. Hiya. How you doing? What's your name?
Sandy.
Sandy, I'm Harry, but then aren't we all? Really, in a larger sense. Sandy.
Yes.
Sandy, you and I will perform an unnatural act. Keep it down, kids. Is this your drink? What are you drinking?
Wine.
Wine, ooh, house wine, ooh. They sent a sample of that to the lab, and a note came back saying, your horse has diabetes. Ah. What's this? Diet Coke, okay. Big night out, huh? Okay, you and I will play do as I do. You do like I do, you do good. You don't do like I do, you ain't doing good. Oh, that's the only rule. That's it. You done this before, Sandy? You're a natural. You're born for it. That's a bonus point. You don't need that one. You assumed too much, didn't you, Sandy? Put your drink down. Thank you very much for this. Oh, I'm sorry. That was rude, wasn't it? I spit in her drink. Oh, can we buy her another drink and bill it to this clown, would you? I don't like the shirt. Sandy, we're gonna have to try something else. Hold out your fist. Which one's yours? Which? I got a hyena in heat out here. Which one's yours? Well, you're slower than most, but you got it. That's the main thing. Sandy, I hand you this sealed pack of Camel cigarettes. Don't let go, no matter what happens. Hold on to them, but don't screw around with them, because it could mean something later on. I wrote that part. We will do a money trick. Who's got money? They got money? You, give me a 5. Give me a 5. Come on, join in, have fun. And you, give me the 5 that you saved on that tie. Give me the 5. Come on, impress your date here. Come on, give me a 5. You got a 5? Yeah. You got a 5? Hey, 5. Hey, 5. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, 5. Boy, that was easy. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you for trusting me. Let's make note of the fact that I got the money after I gave Sandy here the Camel cigarettes. Thank you both for giving me the money. Where are you from? Come on, take half the 5, half the 5. Hold on to it. And you hold on to half your 5 and don't let go of these pieces, because if anything happens to these pieces, you could go to the bank. You could go to the bank and tell them what happened. Tell them that this guy, what you never met, said, give me a 5. And didn't say please or nothing. Just finished spitting in her drink. But you did it because there are cameras and it's exciting. And then he tore it up even better. Go tell E.F. Hutton. They got time to listen now. Tell them. Wait a minute. Whoa, Sandy. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm getting a vibration. I'm getting a vibration from this man. You and I have never met, correct?
Correct.
Yet I sense, I sense your initials are PK, correct?
No.
Buddy, I got half your 5, right? So why don't you wake up and smell the toast burning, huh? Go easy on him. Your initials are PK, correct?
Okay.
Amazing. I am only a tool. It's a power we all have in us. I just happen to be a little more full of it. It's fun, huh, Sandy? Oh, I'm getting more. Your initials are PK. Your name is Walter Helmhurst. Is that it?
Right.
I'm on a roll. Ooh, I'm on a roll. That's why there's butter on my pants. Hey, no, I did not go out looking for you guys. Your occupation, it's coming to me now. Your occupation. Your occupation is don't help. Dildo, no. No, that's your nickname. Wait a minute. Never mind. It don't matter, because we're doing a money trick. I have folded the money. I now take a cigarette lighter. What the hell was that? When did I buy plums? I didn't buy plums. That must be a roll of certs. Wait a minute. Here we go. Hey, cigarette lighter. The money. La flame, la papier. La flame should benaise la papier, n'est-ce pas? But it shan't. Because of the special origami fold I have employed, I can pass the money harmlessly through the... You got a 20? I hardly ever fuck it up with a 20. 20? Never mind, because I am a trained professional. I have in my pocket a genuine Moroccan leather wallet made from a genuine Moroccan. And inside, oh gosh, oh gee, oh my. Boy, we sure weren't expecting that. Well, they don't seem to be exactly on your side, Walt. Guess it ain't your night, huh? Bet you feel like you got screwed, huh? You should, because you did, boy. But not when I borrowed the money, no. When I gave Sandy here that sealed pack of Camels, that is a sealed pack of Camels, correct?
Correct.
Plastic intact, seal intact. All intact, nothing could get in, nothing could get out, correct?
Nope.
And you and I have never met before tonight, correct?
Correct.
And yet, you had those cigarettes all the while that I had the money, correct?
Correct.
And if a chicken and a half lays an egg and a half in a day and a half, then how long will it take a monkey with a wooden leg to kick all the seeds out of a dill pickle? You don't have any idea, do you? But it don't matter, because we're doing a money trick. Tear open that pack of Camels. Boy, you could cut the tension with a knife now, couldn't you? Ooh, feel that. Go ahead, what's inside? Buried midst the cigarettes. 2 halves of 2 5s. Give me either half. I go over to Walt. Walt, take this half. Match it to the half that you were holding. Check the serial number in a loud voice. Is that the other half of your bill?
No.
You know, you are getting to be a real pain in the ass, Walt. But that don't matter. I give it to this guy. You take it. You take it. Match it up. Check the serial number. Hold it up for everyone to see. Is that the other half of your bill? Match it up. Is that the other half of your bill? It is. Take a bow. Take a bow. Do it again. They love us. More. Let's overdo it. Come on.
The guy says, no, but my goats are kidding.
Can we move to another seat?
Oh, I'll take care of this, honey.
Hey, I recognize you, don't I? You're a juggler.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact,
Let me ask you something. Do you mind? What I mean to ask you is, you mind? Well, what I wanted to ask you was this. You suppose that a guy could hit that cigarette into the air, flip it 4.5 times, and then catch it in his lips without touching it again with his hands?
What?
What I'm asking you is, do you think a person could flip that cigarette 4.5 times and catch it in their lips?
No.
No, that's funny, because I can do that.
Nah, you can't do that.
You calling me a liar?
No. But you can't do that.
You want to bet?
What?
You want to bet I can't flip that cigarette 4.5 times, catch it in my lips?
No, I don't want to bet.
Buddy, I don't want your money. I'm just trying to save a little face. How about we make it a token bet, okay? A nickel.
Okay, sure. I'll bet you a nickel.
All right, a nickel says I can flip the cigarette 4.5 times, catch it in my lips. Here we go. The big flip. I guess it ain't my day, huh? You win. Sure beats a thanks for not smoking sign, doesn't it? This is fun, ain't it, Sandy? You ever have this much fun without having to take a shower after? Never have it. But we can't leave it like this, because we can't leave them with torn money. That would be a federal offense, be a venal sin, maybe. So you get those pieces, and I'll get these. This is what I love about this country. I took their money. I didn't have to say please or nothing. I just finished spitting in her drink. But they gave me the money. I tore it up. I burned it up. I fucked it up real good. I called him a dildo. I ignored him completely. Then I got the money back. Then I gave it to them. And then for no apparent reason, they gave it back to me. I love this country. Sandy, take the pieces. Square them up. Tear them in half. Go ahead. It's fun. Try it at home. That's it. And now, count them up. Make sure you have 6 separate pieces of $5 bill that are not attached in any way.
8 pieces.
Huh?
8.
She fucked it up this time, guy. You saw me. I tried to stop her. Never mind. Hand me the scraps. Watch. 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 Oh! Boy, we sure weren't expecting that. Here it is, folks. Watch the scraps. Here it is. The trick that made Ray Charles blind. Right here, folks. No, he is. He is. He is, too. He is. I think Stevie puts it on, but Ray is. Watch the scraps. Once. Twice. Watch so close here, Sandy. Over. Under. Look at that. A $10 bill. Clean as a whistle. Thank you. Thank you. It's nothing really. Thank you. Thank you both very much. Thanks for helping me.
So, you got any more little stunts?
Excuse me, darling. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I do. Here. I will bet you a dime that I can drink that drink without touching my hat.
Without touching your hat?
Right. One dime says I can drink the drink without touching the hat.
Okay, I'll bet you a dime.
Okay. Here goes. That's it.
Huh?
It's gone.
Nah.
Check. I didn't touch the hat, did I?
Hey, wait a minute. Bartender, give me another drink. Okay, all right. I'll bet you I can drink that drink without touching the hat.
No.
Yeah, I'll bet you a quarter.
Quarter? Oh, laying out the big money, huh? Okay.
All right. It's gone.
No.
Check.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow. I'm 35 cents ahead.
That'll be $5 for 2 drinks.
cleaning up here.
Thanks for helping. Oh, I'm sorry, that ain't right. Sandy, you take those pieces. I'll take, well, let's get rid of this. State of the art, my ass. I'll take the wallet. The wallet. Ah! It's okay now. Okay. Sandy, slip the scraps into the wallet. And that's all what we got in there at present, correct?
Correct.
I close the wallet. You hold on one hand at each end. Don't let go no matter what happens, because things get kind of exciting now. Yeah, you get your whole $8 worth right now. 10? Well, there's more stuff after this. Aha. A regulation pair of Smith & Wesson handcuffs on loan from Bernie's Love Emporium, where quality is not just a word, it's a noun. Sandy, what's your best time in escaping from a regulation pair of Smith & Wesson handcuffs?
Oh,
You ever done this?
couple of days. No, I don't think so.
You've never done this? You volunteered for this trick and you've never even done, anything to get up and show off a snappy spring ensemble. Is that the idea? Doesn't bother me. I'm a trained professional. When I was a kid, my mom used to say, never take candy from a stranger unless he offers you a ride. I've been around the block a couple of times, I don't mind telling you. All right, firmly bound. Sandy, hold on to the wallet. Don't let go. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. Hold it out. Hold it out. Come on over here. More scent. Did you let go? No? Well, don't. This could be a trick. It's an illusion, see? It looks like we're linked together, but we couldn't be, so we ain't. So what it is you stick your head through here. Come on. Come on, we've been through a lot. Come on. Come on, come on. Now, don't panic, Sandy. And don't let go. And kids, don't try this at home. Vanderbilt, huh? Very nice. Sandy, don't let go. Don't let go. What you do is you just step back through my arms. There you go. See? Boy, it's getting spooky now, isn't it? Hold on. I know what I'm doing. Not exactly sure why I'm doing it. I got a job. Hold on. Sure. Yeah, you can laugh. Hope your kids have buck teeth. All right, no one moves, no one gets hurt. Let's review. Okay, it wasn't much of a handcuff trick, but that don't matter, because we're doing... You've seen this before, huh? Sandy, what did you have in that wallet when I gave it to you?
2 halves of a 10.
2 halves of a 10. Did that wallet ever leave your hands?
No.
Did your fingers ever leave your hands? No. Is there any way that I could have exchanged what was in that wallet?
No.
Sandy, open that wallet. What's inside now?
2
$5 bills. You give one to him, and I'll give the other one over here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Give me the wallet, and give her a hand, a big hand. You're great. Bye, Sandy. Bye.
So, you got any more little stunts, bub?
Bub?
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I do.
Long ago in the wilderness lived a man whose journey was endless. The wanderer came in Mexico. His vision was blurred, he couldn't see quite which way to go. The blaze of the sun in the cloudless keep threw shadows on men under brims asleep. The wanderer drank, then rested under a shady tree. All eyes upon him, who could this golden-haired stranger be? The children came and gathered close, watching his every move. He began to play on a little bamboo piccolo, insect and bird songs, calls of the wild. And the children saw many little creatures, tiny things flocking around, entranced by the sound of the music. He then made the creatures disappear. The people stood back in sudden fear. A saint or a magician, who was he and from where? Strolling, the wanderer passed along the alleys and peeling walls. A crowd followed him, bewildered, on by the market stalls. He came to a place where a beggar sat, with his wooden bowl on a threadbare mat. The wanderer gave his piccolo to the beggar, and he spoke in a tongue that no one knew or could understand. The beggar blew upon the flute, then he smiled like a child. Come days in the village, and the people called him Strange One. The prince with golden hair, the strange one, care for all men. And soon they were showing with a noise and with a knowing a change very small to each other, something like his way. Then the carnival came, and the colors like flame in the purple night sky. And there was dancing and song, candles moving along, and he watched them go by. Then the beggar man's flute led the band on its route by the small village square. And with the coming of dawning, with no one to see, yes, the wanderer went silently. La 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 la. And with the coming of dawning, with no one to see, yes, the wanderer went silently.
Let's talk geek.
Okay, just because I have seen a couple of people kind of fade in and out, so I'm not sure who was here when I said it before and stuff like that. I'm just going to pop in really quickly just to say this is the part I was talking about where if you have issues with blood and such, this is the part you should skip just so that everybody is aware. That being said, let's get back to it.
Let's not chant geek, let's talk geek. You all know what a geek is? I guess you do. A geek, when I talk geek here, I'm not talking about the pencil neck in school who never got dates. I mean, a geek is a guy who used to work in a circus sideshow. There's a poster of a wild man of Borneo there. Is he man or is he beast? Well, what he was a man dressed up as a beast. That's what a geek is. They would do strange stunts in a sideshow. They would bite the heads off living chickens, you know. They would take like a live rat or a snake. They would hold it by its tail and then they'd swallow it. And then they'd wait and then they'd bring it back out. And it would still be living, sort of, you know. Well, It wouldn't be fuzzy anymore, but... Or they would take like a six-penny nail and pound it up one nostril with the heel of their shoe. Or they ate ground glass. They drank kerosene. You know, they were party kind of guys, you know. I'm going to show you a geek trick. It is called the needle through the arm. This is a different kind of trick. The needle through the arm is a geek trick. It's not like where you put the girl in the box and then you cut the box in half. Because when you see that trick, you know that it couldn't really be happening. But when you see the needle through the arm, you know that it could really be happening. And that's what makes it different. It could be happening. It ain't, but it could. It's an illusion. It's a trick. It's like economic recovery, you know? It could be happening, but it ain't. Okay. The needle through the arm. Now, we're going to take it in phases. Phase 1, the cleansing of the arm. I clean my arm. This spit is good for this. It is. Are there any doctors or nurses here? Am I right? If you cut yourself, spit is good, isn't it? That's what I read, because it gets in the germ's eyeballs. Right? And they can't see where they're going, right? And then they lunge at each other, right? That's how I read it in a book. This lady here would just get a look at my arm and assure the audience that I didn't put any phony skin or makeup or glue on my arm. Speak up, is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay, all right. I want you, if you're going to be talking about this over your cornflakes in the morning, I want to give you some shortcuts, all right? Phase 2 completed. We will now swing deftly into phase 3, the needle through the arm. In phase 3, I take this very large and very sharp hat pin, and I shove it through my arm. Okay, the needle through the arm.
Can't you stick it somewhere else?
Don't ask a question you don't really want to hear the answer to. All right, the needle through the arm. A bunch of namby-pambies, come on. But the needle is not actually going through my arm. No, see what I did was I created an illusion. The illusion of the needle going through... It's a concept thing, see? It would be like if your cat had kittens in the oven, you wouldn't call them biscuits, right? Wait a minute. Maybe if you see it actually happening. See that? Would you like me to play Melancholy Baby? Am I missing the entertainment potential of this thing or what? Tell you what, look at this. Darling, you examine examine my arm, I want you to reach out. Just pull that needle out of my arm. It won't hurt me. It won't hurt me. Go ahead. Just reach out. Gotcha, didn't I? Go ahead. Just reach in. Pull it out. Come on. Okay, start again. Come on. Now, hold on. One thing I promise you at the start is that this is a trick. And so that you don't go off thinking that I'm just Tony Perkins in a painted tie here. Let me wipe the phony blood from my arm. You gotta look at my arm. Feel it. Assure the audience there is no puncture wound.
There's no puncture wound.
That's geek. So how you doing, guy?
What? Oh, fine. Just fine.
Say, you're not upset about that little fleecing you took back at the watering hole, are you?
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's just fun. Just a little game of hanky-poo, you know.
Yeah, right.
I think you're being too tough on yourself. I mean, you only made one mistake. You trusted me. No reason to kick yourself for that.
Well, mister, all I know is I'm nearly broke, and what I don't have, you do.
Nearly broke?
Down to my last 100.
Uh-huh. Say, why don't you and I take a little walk and I'll tell you about life, huh?
A little walk? What's that gonna cost me?
Sidewalk is free, last I heard.
Well...
Come on, wear off a little shoe leather. It'll do you good.
Okay.
Come on. So didn't your mom ever tell you that the cow ain't supposed to bring the sauce to the barbecue?
No, my mom used to say, never leave home without clean underwear, because you might get hit by a truck.
I bet she did. So you just gotta learn to turn it around.
No more bets for me, mister. Your kind is just too clever for my blood.
Come on, big fella. I am just like you. I am a working stiff trying to keep ahead. There's nothing that I do that you couldn't do.
Really?
It's simple. It's like my daddy used to say. He said, son, you gotta get up pretty early in the morning. So why don't you go to bed now? What I'm trying to say is that there is no trick to shearing the sheep. You just play it against the wall, and you use his weightier half against him. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, it's like bowling. You set them up, and you knock them down.
So, you really think I could learn how to hustle?
Sure as my name is Walter Helmford. Hey, look at that. Whoa, that's a beauty, ain't it? It's a pretty little Sherlock knife.
Sherlock knife.
Yeah, it's a street fighting model. It's got a secret way of opening it. Keeps the other guy from turning it on you, you know? Here, take a look.
Well, so what's the trick? How do you open it?
Little gizmo there, you gotta push that and pull the blade at the same time.
Hey, that's a real nifty little thing.
Yeah, it is. In fact, you know, two clever guys could pull a neat little hustle with a prop like this.
Really? How's that?
Well... bingo. How do you feel about getting your first lesson in easy money, friend?
What?
See that guy over there?
Yeah?
That's what they call a fish ready for the fry, you know what I mean?
You mean we're gonna rip that guy off?
Let's just say we're gonna give him a lesson in life with the big boys, huh? What do you say?
Well, gee, sure.
It's my man. You sure you can open the knife?
Sure can.
Okay, you stay here and try to act not too intelligent. Need rehearsal on that?
Nah, I got it.
Right. Stay cool.
say, what a lovely knife. Excuse me, sir, does this belong to you?
No, sir, it does not.
Look at that blade. Fine craftsmanship. Must be very valuable. Wish I could figure out who owned it.
Now, you know, I may have spoken in haste. That does look vaguely familiar. Do you mind if I peruse it a little closer?
Be my guest.
Why, thank you. Yes, I recall... Well, how in tarnation do you open the little thing, anyway?
Well, it's just a knife. Look at that blade. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes, may I again?
Oh, sure.
Yes, I seem to recall... That is strange. I can't seem to open it.
Perhaps the sun and the spirits have gotten to the old gentleman a bit, huh?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Well, I'm just suggesting that maybe you're a little worn out.
Sir, I'm not appreciating your inferences. I can assure you that I am as alert and as capable as your own self. The problem is obviously with the knife.
No problem with the knife. You sure I can't get your grandchildren or your nurse to take you home?
I beg your pardon. Now, you would not be trying to insult me with a trick, would you, sir?
Well, excuse me, but I think this insult is mine, isn't it? I mean, I was just asking you if you own the knife. Your extraordinary inability to open it is really of no interest to me.
Extraordinary inability? Why, sir, if I were not a gentleman and you were not so, thin, I would demand you answer such careless talk. Give me the knife. That settles it. You have toyed with my integrity enough. I demand satisfaction.
Listen, aren't you making a big deal out of nothing? It is just a knife. Look, anyone can open it. She could open it.
I doubt that, sir.
He could open it.
I seriously doubt that, sir.
Hell, even he could open it.
Now that I do not believe.
Well, I say he can.
You do.
Hey, buddy, you want to come over here for a minute?
Sir, perhaps a small proposition could settle this matter the correct fashion.
Excuse me?
Perhaps you're willing to give your idle chatter some monetary support.
You talking a bet?
I am.
You're on.
Sorry to intrude upon you, friend, but we were wondering if you might help us settle a small dispute between the gentleman and I.
Well, sure. What can I do for y'all?
Here, take a look at this knife.
Uh-huh. So what?
Would you say that you could open the blade of that knife in,
20 seconds.
I suppose so.
No, hold on. You see, my friend here doesn't think that you can open it. In fact, he doesn't think it to the tune of, say, $103.
Why don't we add just a small refrain to that tune and make it, say, $200?
Well,
Oh, I suppose I could go in for 100.
Fine.
you're on. You got 20 seconds. You ready?
Go. 5, 10, 15. I do believe that's 20. I appreciate it, gentlemen, for proving my point. You have a fine day.
How could you blow that? Here's a button. You push the button, and the blade opens. You push the goddamn button. Now we're both broke. I don't believe you.
I don't know. I guess I was nervous. Maybe I'm not cut out for this sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe not.
Listen, I'm real sorry.
Right. Let's split up before he sees us talking and realizes we were trying to rip him off, huh?
Oh, right. See you around.
Sure. Not too tough, huh?
Like money from home, buddy. You got my knife?
Yeah, you got my kick.
You bet. What a sap.
A national treasure. Whew. Is this styrofoam?
Get lost.
You know, I guess the question that I am most often asked is how did I get started in this business? And when I'm asked that question, I always tell this story, and you can't believe it because it is a true story, but then I am a pathological liar. But not really. When I was a kid growing up in Queens, New York, we used to visit Manhattan on the weekends for shopping and such. And I always thought of Manhattan as a big city that somebody had built around a hat store. One particular hat store at the corner of Broadway and 32nd JJ's, it's still there. I used to stand outside and stare in the window of that store for hours on end and dream about the Borsalinos and the Stetsons and the Christie fedoras while I was waiting for my folks to finish shoplifting at Macy's. Well, one Sunday out there on 32nd and Broadway outside JJ's, I had myself a mystical experience. It really was the start of things for me, and I would like to share it with you. I was 6 years old. A fellow came across the street with 2 cardboard boxes. He set them up as a table. The fellow was wearing a battered old fedora and a tie that looked like somebody at the carnival couldn't guess his weight, you know. He was like a genie. He caught my eye, and he caught my ear with his pearly ballyhoo that went, looky, 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 I got it here, and I'm going to show it to you now, the most amazing and amusing, educational and confusing feat of Hindu scapapathamy, that sort of thing. He said that he was going to show us cards that would walk and talk and jump through a hoop. He gathered a crowd. And when he had that crowd gathered, he played for them the Monte, the 3-card Monte, the sidewalk shuffle, chase the ace, find the lady. Now, admittedly, the cards that he used were not this big. But I was younger then, and I want you to remember this as I do. There are many ways in which the Monte may be played. The Asians have one version, the English have another. When I first saw it played, it was in the classic New World style. The fellow used a queen, a king, and an ace, a lady, a gent, and a spot. He showed these cards to his crowd, and then he shuffled them in this fashion. Well, if the hands were proportionate, this would be flashier. When he had shuffled, he tossed one card down upon his table, and then he invited his crowd to guess, nay, to bet hard cash as to which card he had tossed. Make a guess in your mind. Make a guess. Were you right? If you were, then you are ahead of the game, for as I say, the money goes to the tosser in the Monte. It always has. In fact, I gave this game a lot of thought over the years since I saw it the first time. I wondered why in the world do the marks keep running to play a game they haven't beaten in 5,000 years? All I could conclude is that it's so damn simple, it's irresistible. It's just the lady, the gent, and the spot. Just 1, 2, 3, and a toss. And besides that, it isn't really the cards you're up against. It's the man who shuffles those pasteboards. He's the one you've got to keep your eye on. It is from him that you will either learn or lose, depending on how you see the situation out there under the noon sun, with a storefront behind and the cardboard table in front, with a don't walk sign to the left and a payphone to the right. Well, that fellow was a teacher to me on that Sunday. I watched him play game after game. I watched him gather crowd after crowd. I watched him toss card after card. I watched him take 5s and 10s and 20s and 50s and hallelujah C notes from those crowds. And I never once saw anyone get pissed. I saw many a man with empty wallet and open hand go up and thank him for the dandy time. He gathered together strangers. He played for them a game of hanky-poo. He took their money, and they went off happy. That, for me, was a religious experience. I saw my life's work cut out for me like a well-tailored suit. You know, I don't know much about this world, but most of what I do know, I learned from the fellow who tossed the lady, the gent, and the spot. He taught me that if you can't laugh at yourself, then you've never seen what you look like sleeping. He taught me that when you are betting on a sure thing, when it's money from home, when you are certain that you cannot lose because you have your ace planted firmly in the hole, that, friends, is the time that you want to save cab fare. Because the idea is to keep an open mind, but not so open that your brains fall out. He taught me, that fellow in the battered fedora, he taught me that respect is something that you give to get, and that trust is something that you have in yourself. But mainly, I guess I learned that you never eat at a place called Mom's, and you never play cards with a guy called Pops, and most importantly, that a fool and his money we're lucky to get together in the first place. Hey, Bob. Checking out the action, huh?
What? Oh, no, just waiting for a cab. Hope he can break a 50.
A 50? Oh, I can take care of that. Let's see. Give me the 50.
Huh?
We got here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, it's getting late, isn't it? What time is it?
Oh, it's about 11.
11. Ooh, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You know, you look young for your age. How old are you?
31.
31, imagine that. 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. That is a good-looking jacket. What'd you pay for that?
$55. It was on sale.
Wow, you're a smart shopper, aren't you? 55, 55, 56, 57. Wait a minute. 57, you only gave me 50. Are you trying to rip me off?
Oh, no, no, no.
Well, then give me $7 back.
Okay, sure thing.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the change.
You bet. Hey, there's your cab. You better cop a heel, champ.
Thanks again for your help.
Anytime. You got yourself a live one.
I'll take him from here.
You got a light? Thanks. You know what it's like? It's like the guy who said, son, no matter where you travel, no matter how smart you get, remember this. Someday, somewhere, a fella's gonna come up to you with a brand new deck of cards, the seal of which ain't never been broke. And this guy's gonna offer to bet you that the Queen of Hearts will jump out of that deck and squirt apple cider in your ear. Well, son, do not bet with this man, because as sure as you do, you're gonna end up with an ear full of cider.
The wanderer drank, then rested under a shady tree.
Oh, it's always wonderful watching that special. That is hands down one of my favorite specials ever. Ever, ever. I love that. I love this. I love Harry Anderson. Like I said, he was the inspiration to a lot of things. Although I do gotta, when the bartender came up to get the money from that guy, it was $5 for 2 drinks. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, goddamn inflation, holy fuck. But yeah, you guys could probably see the part where I was just like, yeah, a little bit of a trigger warning there. Just if you're not good with blood, it was fake blood, of course. But if you actually, I do want to go back to that because I feel, hang on, no, that's the cup and pee trick though. That was, oh my god, that was beautifully done. That was that is the best. That is the most beautiful version of the cup and ball that I have ever seen, and it's done very much the classic way. Like the way the trick was probably done when it was first being done. It's beautiful. But that's not the thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, this part here. At least the concept part with the shells and the pea. That part is probably like the original, the way it was originally done. Interestingly enough, that particular trick does have an interesting cultural difference, because if you happen to see this trick in different parts of the world, usually they'll be doing it with different things to replace like the cup and the balls and stuff like that. In India, it is most commonly done with wooden bowls. In places like China, it is mostly done with metal cups. Um, and then, of course, in North America, if you see it, it's usually done with small plastic ones. I've even seen it done, and of course, Penn and Teller also did it with like red Solo cups. So it's interesting how like magic, it does like different magical tricks come from different parts of the world because like sword swallowing and stuff like that predominantly comes from the UK area just because in other parts of the world they usually had curved swords, so it wasn't exactly an easy or safe trick to do in those parts of the world. Um, Cup and Ball does, depending on which historian you're talking to, some people say it comes all the way. It comes from ancient Egypt. Other people have said it comes from ancient parts of India. So that one's a little bit interesting. Although in India, it is not called street performing because, of course, in India they're not speaking English as their predominant language. I believe the term is fakir. If I'm remembering correctly, it's Fiker, and it's literally means street performing. Um, but yeah, that's part of the thing about magic that I find, you know, with very few things such as shells and a pea, you can communicate completely non-verbally. Now, the thing I did want to say at the beginning of this, I did mention that there is a little bit of camera trickery to this trick to make it look just a little bit more interesting. And I'm just going to mute this for a sec just until it comes up to it. I'll kind of plan it out for you guys. I know it's bad practice for a magician to reveal the secrets, and I'm not going to reveal the secret of this particular trick. But if you if you're familiar with how cinematography works, it's pretty easy to tell exactly where the trick, the camera tricking is. Because when you're doing this trick in front of a live audience, you don't do. There's a person. Can you stick it anywhere else? You don't do this trick the way that he does it in front of the cameras, and with the live audience, he wasn't doing it this way with the live audience. Because you could see where he sticks it into his arm. If you look really closely, okay, I'm going to have you guys look really, really close. His arm is already worked on before you see it. So watch. Just watch really close. So that was actually done for the cameras and for the special to make it look like he was just ramming it through his arm. He wasn't doing that. If you're doing this trick live, you don't see somebody stick it in their arm that particular way. So I just felt it was, but it's still like just that little bit of camera trickery makes the trick look that much more impressive. I will completely be honest about that. It does absolutely make it that much more impressive. And the unfortunate thing is that after this, Harry Anderson didn't really do. I mean, his Wikipedia page was talking about another special he did, which I would love to try and track down. But that was it for his magic specials. Aside from that, he pretty much stuck to acting for many years and then grew a little bit disheartened with acting because another magician, or I should say pair of magicians, that was coming up when he was starting off, which of course would be Penn and Teller, um, they got really, really far ahead when it came to their magic career because, of course, they were focusing on being magicians, not on being actors. And so he kind of grew a little bit disheartened with the whole being a magician and stuff like that and decided that instead of being a magician, he'd just straight up become an actor. And when he realized that other magicians who were starting at the same time as him, he kind of was like, I should get back into doing magic. And he did. And then shortly thereafter, he unfortunately passed away. So now I'm not saying he probably did. He probably loved acting and stuff like that. You know, I mean, just look at this special. It wasn't just a straight special. He was doing stuff where he was playing with the other guy and stuff like that too. That guy, right there. Which I think is actually was actually his opening act for a little while. If memory serves me correctly, I'm not 100% sure if my history on Harry Anderson is accurate. They were at least friends. I know that for sure, because of course, it was set up and stuff like that. It's it's a comedy special. That's kind of the point of it all. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot more I could say about Harry Anderson. Is that this was the nail in the coffin for me to catch, to want to watch, to add magic into my act. And however, I will say there was one thing that another magician who is even older than Harry Anderson, Tommy Cooper, British magician, British comedy magician. Um, Something I learned from watching him was the fact that when you're a bigger guy like I am, uh, when you do smooth magic, it doesn't come across as being all that smooth. So you have to play with it a little bit more if you're a bigger person when you're doing magic. You do have to play with it a little bit more. You have to exaggerate it a little bit more. You have to be a little bit bumbling, and it just works better for you. Now you can't as Penn and Teller have shown because of course Penn, not so much now, but at the height of their popularity, he was definitely a bigger guy and the shit he was doing looked amazingly smooth. So there is always a conjecture to that particular rule. But with that being said, I think this is a good place to wrap up everything. So we did talk about two of my other favorite magicians, and we will eventually get to them as well. But as I said, starting in the new year, it's back to Comedy Central's Top 100 Stand-Up Comics. Starting, of course, with Howie Mandel. There is one comedy special of his, so I know exactly which one it is, and I know it's on YouTube, so there's no worries about that. Um, and as I've said also several times, if you are a fan of comedy, if you are a fan of stand-up comedy, you have comedians that you would like me to take a look at, by all means, feel free to send them to me. Shoot me a line on Twitter, however I have my Twitter and stuff like that on my YouTube channel. So if there's anybody you want me to take a look at, please do. All I ask is they have at least a little bit of something for a bio, and that they have at least a half-hour comedy special when it comes to what they have available on YouTube. That's all I ask. It's the simplest thing. And if they're very small time stand-up comics, magicians, that sort of thing. I might do 2 or 3 of them on a given special just to give us a little bit more time because I do like these to run roughly 2 hours, give or take. All dependent on, of course, how long the special is and how much of a Wikipedia article that they have. But I do like to run roughly 2 hours with this, so that all being said, thank you all so much for joining me today. This was an absolute pleasure. And as far as anything else goes, we will be seeing you all in the new year. With that being said, always remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do. You should probably stay away from most of the things I would do. And until next time, take care and keep laughing.